Hello everyone, how are you doing? Since you and a lot of other people might be flying soon to Argentina for the Mar roast, I thought I'd share a little bit of meditation that came to me a couple of months back. So I don't know if you know it, but I travel a lot for work mostly. And I do fly in and out of different countries to do my work as a corporate consultant. And one of the worst trips in my life happened recently, around 2 months ago. So in this trip, I was going to go to Chile, which is near Argentina, but across the Andes Mountains. And it was already when I arrived in the airport in the middle of a storm. There was a lot of rain in Buenos Aires, and I remember that there was some doubt about taking off in such a weather. And at some point, the captain comes and says, "Hey guys, this is going to be a pretty rough flight. There's no risk involved, but it's going to shake a lot. So if anyone has any problem, you can go and ask for your ticket to be exchanged, right on the grounds of weather conditions." And I'm like, okay, that's alright for me. And there was a person near me. It's like, yeah, no, I really want to go there. And they were with, it was a person with a family, a couple of kids. I was like, are you sure? Yeah, it's never as bad as they say. And I was thinking, well, if the pilot is telling you it's going to be quite rough, it is probably as bad as they say. But I was mistaken. It wasn't as bad as they say. It was worse. It was from the moment we took off until we arrived 2 hours later, non-stop shaking and rattling. Like a lot of shaking and rattling. Not, just up and down, but to the sides and circular. It was a mess. And the overhead bins were opening and people were screaming, "We're going to die!" And there were panic attacks. And in the middle of it, I was pretty confident myself. I was with my seatbelt strapped on. And because I know also that, there are no planes that crash, or what are you going to crash to? You're like 12,000 feet up, right? Or even more. You're not going to crash into anything. It's not going to come apart due to the winds, right? So planes do not fall due to turbulence. But the person next to me was like hanging there for dear life, and I was very unsuccessful in trying to reassure them. I was like, don't worry, the plane is going to be alright, it's not going to come apart, there are no planes that fall down due to turbulence. And he was like, we're going to die, we're going to die, we're going to die. And at some point he looks at me and he's like, why are you not worse? And I was like, well, I don't like this, I don't like this sensation. I don't like the shaking. I'm not a fan of roller coasters, never been. But I guess the main thing is that I'm not afraid I'm going to die, right? And that makes it into a very unpleasant experience. It's not something I would rather do, but also on the other hand, it's like, okay, I'm going to just relax and try to, move with things so I don't get any whiplash. That's about it. That's about as bad as it gets. It's just 2 hours. So we landed, of course, okay, after 2 hours. And that trip, I'll like 2 weeks into the trip, my cousin was like, "Hey, can I go visit her? And I'll bring your kids so we can all hang out." So we hung out and we went to see, I think it was Godzilla and King Kong. To the movies, and they have this kind of 4X cinema in which there is these seats in which you sit and you get sprayed with water, and it's 3D, and the seat basically turns side and side and pitches forward and pitches backwards and shakes, and it's basically the same thing. And it struck me, I just went through this, and the Godzilla experience was fun, right? How much of a difference the setting makes. And I think that's basically true in anything, right? The physical sensation by itself has absolutely no value, right? The physical sensation of bouncing in a cinema seat and bouncing in an airplane seat, it's basically about the same. The thing that makes the difference, it's the association that you have. In one, you're thinking, I will die, this plane will fall apart. In the other, you're just sitting in the cinema watching an ape and a lizard beat each other to death. Basically, so it's that part which makes us have one experience or the other. It's not the sensation itself. So if you are traveling, and if you feel that there is a lot of shaking or turbulence, which I hope there's not, trip, but it's a part of flying. It's going to happen at some point. Try to relax and remember that while the sensation is very unpleasant, by itself is no worse than being in the cinema. What it makes it worse is your fears, and your fears are mostly uninformed. They're not rational. You have less chance of dying out of turbulence in a plane that I think probably being hit by a meteorite or something like this is. I don't want to say that never happened in the whole history of mankind. It's absolutely very little chance. You have more chance of being crushed by a car when you cross the street, right? So try to relax on that. And try to do the breathings, what are called the safe breathings or the cocoon breathings, which are 2 short breaths followed by a very long and hold, to relax your body and to let go of everything. And as much as you can, remember that we're always on the edge of death. We are always near death, and we're just a breath away from it. But statistically, you are, even if you're shaking, even if you're miserable, you're way safer there than just sitting on the street or going to work. So I hope this helps, and if not, I hope that whatever ails you in your travels pass soon, and we might meet soon again after that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.